what we were trying to do was have a volume of space on the inside that was bigger than it was on the outside. So a home that's bigger on the inside than it was on the outside. And it was sort of this exemplification of the way that you feel when you're inside of your home, and that a lot of the time there's more things that go on the inside than do go on from the outside, and there's sort of this facade or this wall that's built up on the outside that there's really not that much going on, and that's not really what's true. There's usually a lot more going on the inside than there is on the outside.
Well, it definitely took some direct, like, major turns. We first started with hanging. We were gonna have it hanging, and then after a while, we kind of figured out that that was gonna be way too hard to accomplish. So, and then ultimately we put it inside a plinth, which we thought was a better, aesthetically it looked a lot better, and a little bit easier to create. But as far as the hardest part, I think it was probably the motor, the mechanics.
Yeah.
That took a very long process.
This whole project was a problem, really. It's sort of the impossible thing to accomplish, is to get more things on the inside of something than there is on the outside. And so just in doing that was our biggest challenge, really. But it turned out to be successful. There was a few things that we even just changed the day of that we went in for the install. Just because when we started, the whole idea of this house was that it was all this sort of information that was confined within the inside, and then when you approached it, it was just spilling over its limits onto you. And I guess it should have interacted for you, and then when you left, it would close up so that no one else would be able to experience it. But really, we found that the closing element of the piece was pretty much the most wondrous experience. So we decided to change that once we came into the gallery, so that upon interaction, you would be able to see the opening and the contraction. I don't know, the piece in general we'd like to submit to some other shows.
Yeah.
The only problem we have right now with it is that it does require a lot of babysitting, and we haven't found a way to really have it do its thing on its own for more than probably like 6 or 7 hours, just because of the delicateness and the way that we have it all put together. But I mean, this was like the first time that we've really worked with miniatures, and it was the first time that we've really done like delicate handcrafting, and it was something that I think both of us found that we were really good at, and I think that this is sort of just a stepping stone to be able to try other things, because I mean, it worked, but even at the show there were still things that we had issues with, which I mean, most people upon finding it for the first time would not see, but for us there was a lot of problems, and we can just move from here and try to perfect it if we were to submit it to something else or try again, I guess.